Are you worried about today's dire financial situation?
Put simply, I would argue the Biden economic plan is working.
The storms on Wall Street continue today after regulators seized the assets of Silicon Valley Bank, marking the largest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis.
Do you worry you'll have enough to pay your mortgage, pay your children's college tuition, enough to retire?
I believe our banking system remains strong.
Regional banks in focus once again today as the market digests the fallout of the First Republic failure.
You have questions, we have answers. It's the Gold Standard with Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn.
Thank you for joining us. Back together again. We welcome you to the Gold Standard Radio Show. Jennifer Horn, Ken Russo, we are standing by at the ready. Well, to give you some bad news, but help you out along the way to tell you how you can keep yourself safe. Hey, Ken, how you doing?
We're providing answers, Jen.
We're providing answers to the problems that our elected officials love to spin. That's for sure.
To
Holy
people's
smokes.
surprise, our elected officials and stuff, they may not have our best interests in mind.
Come on.
And I don't know if anybody's listening out there or if they realized it, but our government has a little bit of a spending issue.
You know what?
I've noticed that. You know what? I might unveil sarcastic Ken today.
I think he should come out.
He might.
I think it's been a while. We want sarcastic Ken for sure.
He might be out.
And we're going to talk all about gold and silver today and why it protects you from some of those economic problems that are really spinning truly this bubble. What did you just tell me? You told me, I know you're going to unveil it again, but you said we are coming to the end of a very
We are near the end of the biggest financial experiment in history.
Mm-hmm.
Central bankers and governments cannot resist the temptation of spending and printing money.
They can't.
Oh.
No, they can't. All right. Well, we'll talk about all that spending and printing. The reason that they're able to do this is...
And those two things, Jen, are exactly why people need gold and they need a little bit of silver, like this stuff.
This is what I'm telling you. We've got visual aids today. So
Yes.
if you're just listening to this program, you can see online the video version as well at MidasGoldGroup.com.
Yeah, let's get the video version from like 2 or 3 viewers to like 30 or 40.
Million.
Yeah, million. Got these pretty silver coins.
Look at those. You know what? I do love when you bring in visual aids. All right, so the reason that we have this spending issue is because way back in 1971, Richard Nixon said, you know what we should do? Guys, I have a humdinger of an idea.
You're kidding me.
Do you have a humdinger, President Nixon?
Yeah, humdinger.
All right, so he decided that he was going to take us off the gold standard, right? He said, no more are we going to have our dollar backed by gold. Nope. Just going to go to a fiat money, baby. We're just going to print away, do what we need to do. And here we are, because he put out that challenge, and boy, oh boy, did our politicians listen. And they've been printing and printing and printing ever since.
Yeah, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
You know, I had another statement that I read this week. In 1971, guided by Milton Friedman, famous economist, the U.S. did something extraordinary. It changed the whole world's money system, and few people even noticed.
Wow.
That was another quote. I mean, some really good writers out there, historians, and history matters, Jen.
History does matter.
You know, history matters.
Itself.
It repeats. And you know what I'm really grateful, though?
Tell me.
That we have people that are running this country, even right now, like the economic advisor to the President of the United States. His name is Jared Bernstein, right?
Yeah.
And he has been on record saying that, well, he would prefer if the world reserve currency was not the dollar. It would be a lot better. But he did an interview this week, and somebody asked him about how our monetary system worked. And I wanted the audience to hear this.
And the office, too. Are you listening?
I want the audience to hear this because this is how important, you know, these people are to us and the survival of our country and our money.
All right, Jared Bernstein.
Yeah.
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right?
Okay. Well, that clears it up for me.
Really?
That makes me feel real good, you know?
So that, I just want you to know, is the economic advisor to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, obviously, they
Jared
speak...
Bernstein, look it up for everybody who's saying, no, that can't be true. Yes,
they
it's
speak
true.
the same language, so we know how they communicate. Karine Jean-Pierre's probably in there, too, going, I told you. Mm-mm. That's staggering. And this is also someone who worked in the Obama administration. This is not his first rodeo. Now, he does not have any kind of degree in economics, clearly, but he worked for the Obama administration, now the Biden administration, and that is the advisor to the president.
Makes me want to run down to the bank right now and convert some of those fake dollars right into some real gold and, call my stockbroker up and say, hey, listen, I just heard the economic advisor to the president of the United States running the show for this whole country, the greatest country in the world. I'd like to put in my sell order, please.
Right?
Yeah, and I'd like to be converted to cash, and then I would like for you to send me that money, and then I would quite frankly like to head down to Midas Gold Group and
fast
convert some of that money into physical gold and silver that I could hold on to myself, bury it in my backyard, or put it in my safe, because quite frankly, judging by that particular interview right there, that would give me zero and gives me zero confidence in these people. I mean, so what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. So we're just printing money out of thin air.
Yep.
Bonds out of thin air.
Mm-hmm.
The government is borrowing money. Well, according to the Constitution, they're the only ones that has the right to actually, produce real money.
Yeah.
It's Federal Reserve notes. It's a whole system that's based on debt. The debt is enormous. The interest on our debt is enormous. The banking system is rocky and shaky. The stock market's a casino. Why isn't there a line at Midas Gold Group across the street from the Deer Valley Airport or, waiting to kind of say, hey, how do I get into some gold? How do I get into some silver? People, wake up. This worst case scenario is this whole system collapses, right? Best case scenario.
That guy's in charge rebuilding it.
Well, either him or another knucklehead that's going to come along right next. Who was before him? Munchin or whatever?
Steve Mnuchin.
Yeah, I saw him he was doing an interview today about how he was going to coordinate the TikTok possible investment.
Oh, yeah, he wants to buy it.
Yeah, and he was one of these other investors, too, that tried to rescue the New York Community Bank Corp.
Right.
So it just goes from one knucklehead to the next, one buffoon to the next.
And I'd say you're not a buffoon. So why not take that? I mean, not just you. You are not a buffoon, Ken Russo. But you listening to us, you're not a buffoon. You can hear that this sounds crazy, that this is crazy talk, and these are the people in charge. Take that personal responsibility. Bring your financial freedom home to you. Do it with gold and silver. 855-322-4653. 855-322-GOLD. MidasGoldGroup.com. That's MidasGoldGroup.com. You can go see these guys in person. Once you empty out that bank account, you can go over to see them in Thousand Oaks, California. I just did last week, by the way. You can go see them in Phoenix, Arizona. 855-322-4653.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing we read this week, Jen, yourself and I, was at the interview with Jamie Dimon.
Even more troubling.
Well, I would say that Jamie Dimon is a very, very, one of the most brilliant, banking heads for Wall Street, one of the most powerful brokers. But we all know J.P. Morgan Chase is also one of the biggest fined banks when it comes to manipulation and rigging the markets and paper contracts and derivatives. This is not just an opinion. Just look up the court cases, you can see. But he's very concerned about the debt issue of the United States.
Right.
Who's brilliant, not? Right? I mean, that's worth about $200 million a year, right?
That's what he makes.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I don't know if people are just afraid of missing out, if they're just, it's the convenience of having paper money. It's the ease of, I can just send money here, send money there. This gold is kind of heavy. The silver, I got to put it somewhere. Well, I just think that those pros and cons to protect your nest egg and to hold your store of value, it's worth it. Yeah. And history says that the system that we're on is no different than the system that has failed many times before. If you go back to France and, Weimar Republic and these different superpowers at those particular times where the country reaches a point and they take advantage of their ability to print money, and they build all these great things like an army, and then the military has to guard the world reserve currency status. But then that particular country, through corruption of politicians and through printing money and debt to finance all of these operations, they lose their grip.
Right.
And I would tell you right now that we are, in the United States, a lot closer to that stage than we are to a birth of a great financial situation. So to kind of prepare for that and to make sure you're not wiped out totally as that kind of crumbles or as the system changes or as we go digital, however it plays out, nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. But wouldn't it make a lot of sense to have options to protect yourself so no matter what happens, you're at least pretty much intact with your gold and intact with your silver so that you and your family could benefit and participate in that next system led by whoever and at least be pretty much financially intact.
Right.
That's where the gold and the silver, Jen, comes into play. And
you do that by calling Midas Gold Group. These guys are amazing. America First Patriots, veteran owned. 855-322-4653. 855-322. It spells out gold. 855-322-GOLD. MidasGoldGroup.com. And Ken, we started this segment talking about history. You just referenced historically what we've seen when economies are in the shape that ours is in. Let's talk about, in the last minute here, the history of gold, because history does repeat itself, and gold and silver also have a pattern over time.
Yeah, I mean, they've held their value. It's a store of value, right, where our currency's not. You know, $1 of gold back in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard, $1 of gold is now worth $70 of gold. $1 back from 1971 is now worth about 14 to 15 cents.
Yeah.
So you can see the relationship of one product like gold and physical silver, which we're going to show some products in the second half of the show and talk about them. One product holds your purchasing power, builds purchasing power. One other product, our paper dollar, is just dwindling and dying, and there's a long ways to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to make sure that you are protected. You've worked very hard to earn your money. You've earned all of that. You want it to be there as you need it in your retirement and for your family. Gold and silver can do that for you. Call Midas Gold Group. Don't wait. If you've been thinking about it, give them a call. It's not scary, I promise. 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-4653, 855-322-GOLD. Always online. You can check for all the resources there. MidasGoldGroup.com. MidasGoldGroup.com. You can see the product catalog as well. There's more up ahead. It's the Gold Standard Radio Show. Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn.
Dr. Gorka here. You're listening to The Gold Standard with your hosts, Ken Russo from veteran-owned Midas Gold Group and Jennifer Horn. Owning private money in the form of physical gold and silver is perhaps more important than ever to your long-term financial security. As U.S. banks fail, the Biden administration sends hundreds of billions abroad while depleting our strategic oil reserves. However, the biggest financial threat may be coming from within: central bank digital currency. The patents have been filed and the big banks have released plans for implementation. Midas Gold Group sees tyrannical implications, the end of cash, the end of financial privacy, big government able to see your every purchase. Could there be ties to social credit? Hear more commentary on the political and economic issues that affect your financial security right here on the Gold Standard. You can create your own Gold Standard with a call to Midas Gold Group, 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653, MidasGoldGroup.com.
Welcome back. It is the Gold Standard Radio Show. Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn. Happy to have you along with us today. And I love when Ken brings in things for us to look at because, well, as a girl, gold and silver, very shiny. Love to check out what you have.
Well, it's important to know, too, Jen, that it's tangible.
It's exactly.
This is a tangible asset that you hold on to.
Hold it.
Bury it in your yard. Put it in your safe.
Safe, maybe.
Yeah. If you have to put it in a lockbox, put it in a lockbox. That's not my favorite way. But
how come?
What
do you got against a lockbox over there?
Well, I mean, what if something disappears from your lockbox?
Oh,
And
like
then-
somebody could take it, you mean?
Well, either that or, what if the bank goes down and then they say, well, nothing was really in your lockbox.
And
Do you
it's
have
just
any
gone.
proof that, then it's just gone.
Look at
I guess-
Sinister Ken is here today.
Well,
Got to be prepared.
This is realistic, Ken.
Yeah.
That's heard stories before. So the first and foremost thing is you want to store this yourself somehow. Or if you have an IRA or a 401k, you could at least hold it at a depository until you decide to take it out, because then that's a taxable situation. But we can talk about that. Everyone's different. Now, some of the products I wanted to talk about are some of the basic products, Jen, that clients look at when it comes to silver. Now, here is a 1 ounce silver Britannia. Now, that's the coin of Great Britain.
Okay.
Now, it's 3.9 silver. It's a beautiful coin.
It is. It's got Charles on here now.
They used to have Queen Elizabeth, but she expired.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Poor thing. She lived a
Unfortunately.
great life, though, And so, but this is new. So this would be a newer coin,
Well, that's
right?
with his face, yes.
Yeah.
So for somebody who's looking for a government coin, meaning that it's made by a sovereign mint, the Britannia is a nice choice.
Yep.
The other government coin I brought today
Can
is
I ask a question?
Yes.
What's the benefit of holding one that would be a government coin, basically?
Well, it's a little bit less than expensive than the U.S. coin.
Good. Okay.
So we'll get into that based on supply and demand. So if you're looking for a government coin, because it has a great reputation and it has a great quality to it,
Right.
but you may want to buy more ounces for your money, then maybe somebody would say, well, let me look at a foreign silver coin versus the U.S. coin.
Got it. Okay.
This is another foreign coin. It's called the Silver Philharmonic.
That one I like.
A lot of these bullion coins, Jen, came out in the late 80s. 1986, President Reagan started the Silver American Eagle program. And due to the popularity of the bullion coins, bullion means based on purity and weight, a lot of other countries followed. So the Silver Philharmonic, which also comes in gold and platinum, it has a picture of the Philharmonic organ on the back of the coin and some of the orchestra instruments on the front. It's a beautiful coin.
It is really pretty. That was the first one I picked up while you weren't looking.
Why was it that you liked that one?
Well, first of all, I'm Eastern European. I'm Czech. And so when I looked at this immediately, I thought that it was an Eastern European coin. I was right, Austrian. And it was just pretty. I like I just like the look of it.
That's where Arnold Schwarzenegger's from,
And,
Austria.
Hungarian is Dr. Sebastian Gorka. I was
That's
almost
right.
there.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. You got a Schwarzenegger coin.
There you go.
The Arnold is what we'll call that one.
Now, I would say this is probably almost as popular as the American Eagle, and this is the Maple Leaf.
Okay. I saw that. Now, that one is pretty familiar to me, right?
Yeah, you've seen this before in gold. King Charles is on the front of this one because it's a new coin. Queen Elizabeth was on prior editions. Comes in gold, also comes in platinum and palladium. But the silver maple leaf is also 4/9 pure. So the purity of this coin is actually greater than the ones that you and I were just looking at.
So it has more value.
A little bit, yeah. And it's very popular. Canadian government is an absolute joke, but I like the coin a lot.
And I like hockey, so let's go with
And it's a really good way to own gold and silver. And like I said, it's a little bit cost benefit to the client because it's a little bit less than the American coins.
Okay.
The Canadian coins, and they also come in fractional sizes. This is a 1 ounce silver maple leaf, and I got to be honest with you, it's a beautiful coin.
Let's take a look here. Yeah, I do like. You know what? This one is nice because it's simple to me.
I hope I'm holding these high enough.
It's the
hold it in front of there, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm being your Vanna White here. I'll give you the show.
Yeah.
But I do like the simplicity of this coin a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Now let's speed this up because I think we're running out of time.
Got a few minutes.
These two coins, this was real money at one time. Here, this coin was made from 1922 to, I think, 1934. It's called the silver peace dollar.
Okay.
It was 90% silver, 10% copper. And this is probably the most popular silver coin, especially of the Western time frame. Give me a shot of bourbon. And, the cowboy throws the silver coin on the bar. This is called the Morgan silver dollar.
Right. That one I have seen before.
Beautiful coin. We actually had a client that I think had an 1889 silver Morgan. I think there was 5 of them that existed in the world of that quality.
Wow.
And we actually helped them bring it to auction, and it sold for $180,000.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Now,
incredible.
that's probably about a $40 one, but it's a good way to diversify in something that they don't make anymore.
Right.
So the peace dollar and the Morgan silver dollar, actually two of my favorites right now, as they've been kind of forgotten about as everybody's kind of consumed with these other type of bullion coins.
Sure. Okay, very good.
Other real money would be constitutional silver. This is a 50-cent Kennedy and a 50-cent Benjamin Franklin half dollars.
Yep.
And we all know before 1965, our silver coinage, 50-cent pieces, quarters, and dimes were all 90% silver, and that's constitutional silver.
Right.
So the dime is actually the smallest denomination of silver before 1965 that sometimes people own. It's called constitutional silver, especially people who feel, well, maybe what if we need silver for bartering or something in
Smaller
small denominations?
Yeah, great.
Here's the silver eagle. I didn't want to forget this. It's the silver
That's my
coin.
very favorite of everything you showed me.
And I can see why.
It's just
Silver
pretty.
coin of the United States, Lady Liberty on the front, different type of eagle on the back. Started in 1986. They make anywhere from about 30 to 40 million of these coins every year. It usually carries the highest premium, but in a good market, the silver eagle will appreciate more than other coins because of the demand.
So what you're saying is I have good taste.
I would say that you have good taste. Plus, as an investment, the Silver Eagle has a track record of outperforming other products.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, those are all government minted coins. These two products are private minted by a private company, privately minted. Here's a 1 ounce silver bar.
Which is a nice, if you're keeping that at home, by the way,
And
that's a nice way to stack, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's still 999 silver. This one is from the Golden State Mint. There's a lot of reputable companies that make silver bars. And this would be called a silver round. So instead of being in a rectangular shape, it's in the shape of a coin, but it's not government coinage. It's just a round, a disc of silver. And the benefit of owning silver in a round or a bar form is that you can buy and own more ounces for the money because they cost less per ounce than the government coins do.
Right.
But the con is they will appreciate at a more normal rate according to the price of silver versus the government coins, which have a long track record of appreciating faster than the price of silver does because of the limited mintage, the reputation of the government mint, and the quality of the coin.
I do want to ask you this question because I think probably there's sometimes confusion for people who are just starting out. So if I come to you, a new customer comes in and says, I really want something tangible. I want something that I can hold. I want precious metals. Do you recommend getting both gold and silver? Do you recommend focusing on one? For someone who's just starting out, what would be that advice?
Well, I would
that
say,
you give
first of
them?
all, it's going to depend on how much money we're converting, okay? Second of all, it's going to depend on the client. What's their age? You know, how are they going to be able to store it? You know, where do they live? Are they going to be moving around? So there's a couple of things to think about. But what I want people to realize, Jen, is that these products that I just talked to you about, people don't need to stray from these products. Don't buy a silver blue whale coin.
Right.
Don't buy a Canadian limited mintage coin with a crazy animal on it. And you know, there's a lot of companies out there that are taking advantage of good people, and they're selling them these coins at huge markups, and it's not fair. These people are going to have a hard time selling these coins when it comes time to liquidate.
You want to keep it simple.
Keep it foundational, keep it simple, keep it basic, and you're going to get the benefits of gold and silver. And that's what people should be thinking about now. The benefits of something tangible, a store of value, something that I could hold in my own possession outside of the system, something that no matter what happens to me will be there for myself or my legacy or kids or whatever, and something that, in my opinion, you know, when it's allowed to trade just based on all the money that's been printed and all the debt that's been created, I think the prices are going to be substantially higher, even sometime in the next few months.
Right.
And especially over the next few years.
And think about everything they're using silver in as well, right?
That's right.
I mean, that's what I always go back to silver. It may seem like you can get a deal on it right now, but they're using silver all the time.
And if you look at the ratio, it's about 88 or 89 to 1. So for every 1 ounce of gold, you get 88 or 89 ounces of silver. Based on the historical ratio, that favors silver. So if gold does well, silver should do better.
So basically, if you want to fill your swimming pool with the metal, silver's the way to go.
Why not?
I want to swim
too.
in it like Uncle Scrooge.
That's right. Well, there you go.
All right. If you want to learn more about silver, if you want to learn more about adding gold, precious metals to your portfolio, this is the ultimate hedge against inflation.
Well, silver is used for infections, too.
Yeah, that too. Protect yourself. Call Midas Gold Group 855-322-4653, 855-322-GOLD, MidasGoldGroup.com, MidasGoldGroup.com. Thanks for joining us. It's a Gold Standard Radio show with Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn.